to a country home, spend my days fishing and planning gardens, because the only thing more boring than gardening is planning a garden. Or I could be like my mother, the one who sucked up media attention like an almost melted ice cream on a summer day. It was my terrible luck that neither option was acceptable to me. I was only 29, too young to play dead in the backwoods of Drieden, and too young for the magazines to ignore me if I didn't. I needed time to think, time to plan, time to regroup. And the clock was spinning fast. Pieces of my plan snapped together as if my subconscious had worked on this problem for years. Everything fell into two categories: things I could take with me and things I would leave behind. I had time for 2 short emails, one to London, one to an Italian village. There was a knock at the door. "Come in," I called out, in a hoarse voice that sounded strange to me. The last 20 minutes had been a blur, and I wasn't sure if I had been crying or screaming. It was Stavros's manager. Luis Caballero walked into the room, his trim figure nearly vibrating with adrenaline. He stopped dead when he saw me.
"What happened to your hair?"
he gasped, shock making him switch to his native Spanish. His eyes grew round with horror as he stared at the long blonde ponytail lying on the carpet at my feet. Even though my grandmother, Queen Aurelia, had stripped me of my titles when I married Stavros, my princess blood ran true. I lifted my chin and said, "I'll need a widow's veil for the funeral, thick enough that no one can see my face." Luis inclined his head, a gesture of respect, or a gesture to grant me privacy. "And a bottle of hair dye," I told him. "Jet black." Chapter 2. 6 months later.
"Don't jump."
Eleanor's voice was grouchy, but Eleanor's voice was always grouchy around me. I made a point of stretching my neck out to look over the balcony edge, down to the softly lapping water of Lake Como below. "I won't," I promised her. "Just because it's only 4 stories down. I'd likely survive it." Eleanor grunted.
"And then I'd have to clean up the mess."
And here I was thinking you'd started caring about me. Another dismissive sound, although I wasn't quite sure yet how to translate it. My Italian was fluent, but the slight difference of meaning between pa and ba still escaped me. I slid my hands along the stone balustrade and lifted my face to the sun, soon to set in the west. It was the first glimpse of sunshine we'd seen in weeks, as the shores of Lake Como had been hammered by one dreary winter day after another. I closed my eyes and smiled, treasuring the thin layer of warmth to be found underneath the chill from the water. For a moment I was reminded of Drieden. Home. A tiny nation on the North Sea, Drieden suffered long, stormy winters that were dark and grey. My people knew how to treasure slivers of sunshine. Eleanor muttered something I didn't catch. I swore she did it on purpose, some sort of trick the Driedener game she played. "I'm sorry, what did you say?" I said politely.
"For a woman who doesn't like to be seen, you're showing yourself off to the world."
I opened one eye and squinted at the view of the lake. This was about the farthest I could get from showing myself off. On the penthouse-level terrace of my house on the outskirts of Varenna, there was no one around who could see me, except maybe the people on the few boats that had braved a February day. And even then, I had taken care to wear my large Sophia Loren sunglasses and a chic, wide-brimmed felt hat. Just because I was in hiding didn't mean that I couldn't bring it in the fashion department. But I wasn't going to get defensive with Eleanor, or explain it all to her. I had hired her almost a year ago to help me manage this property. Villa Cavalletta teetered on terraced land above the lake on the outer edge of the village. I had bought it as an investment, just before my marriage. Years ago, the villa had been split into 3 apartments. The basement and ground level I offered to Eleanor, as part of her salary. She would then manage the 2 apartments above, renting them to the near-constant stream of tourists and vagabonds that flocked to Lake Como every year. I had never planned on being one of those vagabonds myself, but now I lived like a hermit in the penthouse apartment.